So what about BIC, UK's Book Industry Communication Standard? Well, the BIC Standard Subject Category Scheme, BSAC, used by British publishers, libraries, and retailers, will be marked as end of life by February 2024. This means that the BIC standard will no longer be used for the UK book industry. Instead, migration to Thema will take place across the book publishing industry. BIC leadership notes that this movement is to support adoption of one standard classification scheme. The BIC team notes that Thema's cross-cultural and multilingual characteristics makes it a sustainable option. Before we move on to Thema and the LCC outline, let's try out BIC before it's permanently deprecated. I've picked out 3 books that I've read and added to my WorldCat list. If I was going to use BIC to classify these books, let's see what codes we'll find. So I have Software Testing Foundations, a book from Rocky Nook for software engineers. Wild Geese by Ogai Mori, a Japanese short novel which was originally released by Tuttle Publishing in 1959. And Rendering in Pen and Ink by Arthur L. Guptill, which was released in 1976. So here in the online BIC category browser, I'm going to check what BIC code and category I would use for these 3 books. So the first one would be Software Testing Foundations. And almost immediately I was able to find the code and the right description. Software Testing and Verification. So that's UMZT. Software Testing and Verification. Now for the next book by Ogai Mori, I had to dig a little bit deeper. So for Ogai Mori, it's a classical Japanese book, printed a long time ago. So first I looked for literature. And then you'll notice there's only literature and literary studies. It doesn't really specify that it's Japanese or from Japan. So I would probably put in DB, which is classical text, under literature and literary studies. And I would, of course, add the country Japan. 1F PJ. Now, for the drawing book by Arthur L. Guptill. So the drawing book by Arthur L. Guptill is about using pen and ink to draw anything like, chairs, tables, buildings, and architecture. So I would have preferred drawing instruction, but there isn't an exact one. The only thing that's available is drawing and drawings, which is an art form, AFF, drawing and drawings. So that would probably be the category I would use for Arthur Guptill. So if you look at the BIC categories that I chose, the Software Testing Foundation one is 100% accurate. And the Ogai Mori one required more than one code, but it's still fairly accurate because it's Japan and it's literature. And finally, for drawing, I would have preferred to have the word drawing instruction as a category, but I think drawing and drawings should be more than adequate.